Мой голос, мой голос.
Вже наоборот ми його зараз включили.
Не, красная.
Включена? Ага. Ти бачиш, він просто, якщо там хтось буде говорити, він до того не достукається.
Ну мы потом...
А що, він туди напер...
А ну, пошипи.
А,
Да.
ну зараз була нарада просто. Жалко, ти не бачив. Я таку презентацію
Покажи.
зробила.
ДСП.
Твоего. И я думала, в этом будет на сайте было. Да, информационно-коммуникативная работа по местному партнерству. Ну, то, что ты помнишь? Что
Ага. Да, с удовольствием посмотрел. Я увидел, что в культуре Белоножка, да? Это типа спецвыпуск.
Ну, где спецвыпуск?
Да
Где?
тут...
Ну, это же не мы.
Ну как это не...
И это не мы. И это не... Это мы. Это не мы.
Вот трудовая
И
книжка.
это не мы.
Ну, видимо,
И это не мы.
какой-то, видимо, все равно спецвыпуск.
Он Белоножка, ну, просто у нас, потому что мы потом присутствуем в наших командах, яких ми працюємо. У нього є грант, не здається.
Я смотрю, он даже печатается в Запорожье.
Там дешевле, все печатаются в Запорожье.
Да не, раньше ж Винница была самая.
Нет, ну, я знаю про
Да?
Запорожье.
Это Запорожье. У меня одесситы попросили почитать. Я чую это. По Виннице раньше. А ну да.
Ти в мене є
В Фейсбуке, да.
Ні, я в этом. У
Телеграм?
меня нету славы.
Телеграм? Или
В
WhatsApp?
Телеграме.
Или мама?
А, я когда тебя до начала должна... Я, потому что мне заходить. Ну, заходить.
Ну, закрытый просто.
Да?
Тому запрошуємо спілкуватися, і як це в нас основна робоча мова. Ну, якщо є потреба, скажімо так, намагайтеся використовувати англійське спілкування з нашими гостями. Вам у всіх на руках є порядок денний, але нагадаю, що сьогодні в нас відбувається зустріч в форматі CREA, креативна розмова. Це формат, який Team Europe Миколаїв вже декілька років в місті Миколаєві для розвитку міста напрямків. Це і розмови про креативні бізнеси, це розмови про візуальну автентику міста. Сьогодні наша розмова про концепцію New European Bauhaus. Можливо, частина з вас знає, що це. Якщо ні, по завершенню сьогоднішньої зустрічі, я сподіваюся, що більшість з вас буде точно в деталях розуміти, що це за підхід, які в ньому є можливості для міста Миколаєва, для професіоналів, які пов'язані з напрямками архітектури, з напрямками урбаністики, місцевого локального розвитку. Отже, саме про це ми будемо сьогодні говорити. І для того, щоб наша розмова відбулася змістовною, у нас є унікальний шанс сьогодні мати в цій аудиторії наших шановних гостей, людей, які є носіями експертності саме по цьому напрямку. Кожен з них матиме слово під час сьогоднішньої зустрічі. Це і пан Хуберт Рамер, це і пан Федер Бальцер-Нільсен, і це пан Ніколай Штайн. Також ми маємо онлайн нашу колегу Олену Кляренка, яка якраз представляє український офіс New European Bauhaus. Від неї ми очікуємо якраз про практичні можливості для українських учасників. Тому, скажімо так, ми сподіваємося, що розмова буде змістовна. Ну і, зрозуміло, звісно, з нами сьогодні головний архітектор міста Миколаєва, пан Євген Поляков. Скажімо, від нього таке духовне натхнення, і від нього якраз практичні можливості для імплементації підходів New European Bauhaus в містобудуванні міста Миколаєва. Dear colleagues, I've already greeted the attendance of today's meeting, explaining that Team Europe is the part of the communication partnership of the representation of European Union in Ukraine. We already happy to have here today on board the top experts with whom we plan to discuss the details to bring better understanding of the European Bauhaus concept, its practical approach to the city of Mykolaiv, to local planning, the opportunities behind this concept for the professionals who are working in architecture, urbanism, project management, development design, and related fields. And basically, this is the format of CREA Talks. We are practicing as a Team Europe expert group of the representation of European Union in Ukraine for several years. In this audience, we already discussed their visual approaches for their the city recovery. We discussed the opportunities for their creative businesses. So today we are lucky to have you guys not online but physically in Mykolaiv, and please understand how important it is for us to have you here. And we also thank you for your braveness to come to the city of Mykolaiv during the war. So let's start. I would like to give the floor to Hubert.
Okay, so I go there with the clicker. Okay, so I will start from the quotation, pan Artem, bo ja namagаюсь говорити українською, але пан Артем мене звернувся, що я говорю англійською, але презентація є двомовна, що можу це зробити українською. So I will start from the quotation from the President of European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen. If the European Green Deal has a soul, then it is the European Bauhaus, which has led to an explosion of creativity across our union. So this shows that what was the reason to create the European Bauhaus. It was to make the European Green Deal more understandable, more acceptable, and also made in the way which is leaving no one behind. And the problems which European Green Deal has now in the acceptance in big extent also in my country in Poland, it shows that maybe not all aims of European Bauhaus has been fulfilled. However, it succeeded in different interesting projects and other. So then the slogan of the European Bauhaus is beautiful, sustainable together, and it goes and in the time of the development of these initiatives, the understanding of these simple words were a bit complicated, and I was for 4 years the member of Roundtable of European Bauhaus, and I also contributed to the complication of understanding of this word, because we criticized some approach. For example, at the beginning, there was written that we should spread around the world the European understanding of beauty, and I was among the groups we criticized that it is very colonial approach, as in different culture there is a different approach. And also this sustainable word, it is much narrower understood than, for example, the goals of sustainable development of the United Nations, which you can see is covering not only environmental but also social and economical aspects such as peace, justice, and strong institution, life on land, no poverty, zero hunger, quality education. And in this case of the European Bauhaus, it is the older understanding of sustainability where it was only limited to the environmental aspects, and because of that, this work together is answering to the need of inclusion, which in case of the Sustainable Development Goals of United Nations is covered. But in European Bauhaus, there are these three groups of values under there is very good document which I recommend you. Unfortunately, it is only in English. However, maybe for Mr. Artem, fortunately, because it will mobilize you to learn English, but I have translated several words into Ukrainian. It's also consultation, some people who are much better than me in Ukrainian. And so there are these three groups, and then they were deepened into the three levels of ambition. So in case of beautiful, you see that it is no more limited to aesthetic. So it has first level of ambition is to activate, so to make people active. Second level is to connect, and third level to integrate. So it is more about the quality of experience and the things which go beyond functionality, not the pure aesthetics. Then sustainable, it goes first ambition is to repurpose so to not to make things going to the trash can, but to use and also the old building. So I must confess that maybe I'm not I managed to go deeper into Mykolaiv context in the presentation, but I will mention Mykolaiv context in some moment. So, for example, to repurpose, you have closed down your industry, and then instead of demolishing this building, you can repurpose them for the new needs, or also there are the green areas which are maybe not in good maintenance. You can try to repurpose. Then to close the loop, so to reuse the elements. For example, when there was a destruction, you can regain some materials from the trash, and then from the ruins, and then set ambition to regenerate. So I think that you know much better than me that Mykolaiv is the city with needs regeneration, and it can be done not for starting from scratch, but basing on the rich tradition and also rich resources which are not produced. And the third level, which is the third value, is this inclusion covered by the word together. So it is to consolidate, to include, so that nobody is excluded, that there are not favorized groups and defavorized, but everybody is included, to consolidate, to make the society cooperating together and supporting each other, and to transform to better state. And then we go further to that each of these its ambitions has different. So in the compass, I will not present whole compass, but there are different levels of deepening the meaning. So here there is in this laptop there is my presentation. So I think for sure that you can get it, and then there's a link to this net compass, so you can read deeper. But then beautiful, and this first ambition to activate is context reactivations, so that reactivations which is closely related with the place. Then sensory experience, so experiencing by different senses, not only visually, also by touch, by smell, and by the feeling, and also the others. Aesthetics is also there. Then the next level to connect, it is connection across the context. So it's cooperation. For example, you have different contexts. For example, context of post-industrial area, and then context of three rivers, and then collective experience. So to have experience not in loneliness, but also, and then sense of belonging, so that people see that they are not left behind, but belong to the bigger group, bigger city. And then the third level to integrate, so enable creation, to be able to create, restructuring the values, and creating long-lasting movement, not just an action, but something which takes it. And this I started because I have the opinion that it is better learning by doing, and to show an example, and then you could come with definition, not start from the definition. So then I will, before I will move to other, I will say, what is it for? That these values which are mentioned there are in this compass, there are a kind of checklist that if you want to make a project or enterprise which is following the values of the New European Bauhauz and working principle, then you can check it compass and see how to follow. Then the next value, sustainability. So it's first ambition to repurpose, so to preserve, preservation, repair, reuse, upgrade, renew. So avoid doing the new things when it is not totally necessary, but preserve existing and develop them. Then to close the loop. So sometimes there are things which cannot be reused, but to transform waste into the raw materials or products and make this system to industrial system circularity, that it is easier and still economically cheaper to produce from the new resources, but for the quality on environment and also giving wealth to people, it is better, and it is also a big challenge how to make it people want and accept. So then to regenerate carbon storage. So in case of there was a question of reduction of emissions, and it is problem with that. So then it is also the solutions which make this carbon, for example, when you use in some cases wood instead of concrete, then it is storing carbon in the building. However, it is problem how not to completely destroy the forest, which I have heard that in some regions of Ukraine is that problem. Then enhancing biodiversity, so then includes more species of animals, of plants, to make the next point, restoration and expansion of natural landscape, and the next one, paradigm shift to behavioral change. So it is important to make behavioral change. And I can use the simple example that maybe the youngest participants here do not remember, but people in my age, a bit younger or a bit older, remember that some years ago it was obvious that in restaurants and cafes it is allowed to smoke, and then it was forbidden. And for example, in Austria and Germany, not everybody follows that rule because there was not behavioral change. In Poland and Ukraine, the people understood that rule, and then it is accepted that those who smoke go out of the restaurant. And then together, so this inclusion, so this condition 4, total 1 to include it based on equality, quality, accessibility, and prioritizing disadvantaged people. So if there are people with disadvantages, sometimes it is not enough to give them same accessibility, but to support them. I think in Ukraine is the example of strong support, so different form of support of people who were injured in the war. This marvelous development of prosthetics with different kinds of support is the example. Then to consolidate, so to overcome the segregation that the society not to be segregated into different levels, but cooperating, representation and social stability, so that all groups are represented, sharing resources and opportunities. And ambition 3 is to transform, so fostering shared social values, social development and collective growth, and new ways of living together. Then this European Bauhaus Compass and whole European Bauhaus basis on, you can say, 2 columns. One column are values, which I will have just briefly presented, and the other column is the working principles, how should it be done. And so first principle is participatory process, and first level is to consult, second level to co-develop, third to self-govern, then transdisciplinary approach, so to connect different disciplines. I think your place is also multidisciplinary, but then it is question of cooperation, so to be interdisciplinary. So a question if you are already on that level, and the third highest level of ambition is to be beyond disciplinary, that do not have that for example, architects cooperate with landscape architects, sociologists, and economists, and everybody does his or her work, but to work together in such a way that they are like a one team and they are overlapping in finding the concept, not that you send just specialists. And then multi-level engagement, and in this case, these ambitions are not the scale of levels, but they are parallel. So to work locally, so in the place, or in your case, in Mykolaiv, for example, to work across the levels, so to conduct local, regional level, and to work globally also. And then again, this level, so this depending of these things. So in case of participatory process, the first level to consult. So when you do something, you have to, so the basic level is to inform people, to go with them in dialogue, to consult. The next level is to co-develop it, not just only let's give opinion, but exchange the join project steps together and co-create, so involve the integration. And the highest level to self-govern, so to work in partnership, joint actions, community, and so self-governance that if, for example, something is built by the municipality, it is not only built for the people, but together with the people. So we are here in Mykolaiv because of the competition for the former officers building, and as far as I know from the materials, there was at least this first level fulfilled on the preparation of competition materials. Then maybe also so there is a question we could discuss if you were on the first or second level, then could be also. But for example, I have taken part in the procedure in Warsaw when we prepared competition in such a way that the 5 projects has been chosen by the jury. Then there was public discussion and then final decision afterward. Then the multi-level engagement. So on the local level, there is intermunicipal cooperation. For example, Mykolaiv with neighboring villages. Then network parishes, but also important is informal cooperation, that not institutional, but the different people cooperate together to work across the level, like informal networks, supranational institutions, European Union member states. So in case of Ukraine, which is not yet member state, it is also the national cooperation, local and regional authorities, and globally it is multi-scale impact, cross-sectoral, so different sectors of economy, and global north, global south relations. So these are in the scale of work. Maybe this least it is because there is European Union member states and global north, global south relations, and in Ukraine it is something missing because Ukraine is global north, so there's global north, global south, but then it should be also like cooperation of member states with the other states on the international regions level. And this transdisciplinary approach, so this first ambition to be multidisciplinary, so connect diversity of disciplines, diverse educational background, and commonly define the problem. Then interdisciplinary, together creation of knowledge, intensity of communication, and integration of results from different disciplines, and to be beyond the disciplinary, the non-academic partnership. So it is also important that European Bauhaus points out that you can learn not only from the specialist academicians, but nearly every person is specialist in some extent, which you can learn from. I think that everybody of us, or everybody has learned something from grandfather or grandmother. Then interaction with non-academic, public engagement, collaborative process, and levels of interaction of different levels. And then we go to the next example, that each year since 2021 are distributed the prize of European Bauhaus, and they show something which I found very important, that the European Bauhaus has started in 2021, and the prize was first distributed by either 2021. So it was distributed also for the project which were done before. So it does not mean that it has been for something what follows European Bauhaus, but it can be also given for some project that somebody who does not know that there is a European Bauhaus can do the things which are in line with European Bauhaus, and from that can be also awarded by this prize. And since the second edition of the prize, there are in 4 categories. That in first editions there was 10 categories, but then it was reduced to 4 categories, which are also thematic axis of the new European Bauhaus, and these are reconnecting with nature, regaining a sense of belonging, prioritizing the places and people that need it the most. So I think that in the current state of full-scale invasion, the Mykolaiv as a whole is one of the places that need most to be prioritized and supported. But of course, also the inside in the society of Mykolaiv, there are people who are in such a group, or then shaping a circular industrial ecosystem and supporting life cycle thinking. And then these prizes are distributed in two streams. One are champions, and it can be only for implemented project, and the other one are rising stars. It is for the project from people under 30, and this can be also visions, not on implemented project. So I see few students here, so you can also start with your students. Some students project were getting the prize. And then I will go through the examples of prizes connected with Ukraine. So in the previous edition in 2024, there was first time when project from Ukraine can participate, but they could not only participate, but there was also a special recognition for the project for Ukraine. So from the all project which were submitted to apply for the prize, there were projects which were from Ukraine selected additionally, and from them there were given the prizes, the special prize in this additional category, and the winner, because in every category there is winner and runner-up, and the winner was the project Nadjereon. It was the transformation of the green area in Lviv by the place for the internal displaced mother with children and pregnant woman, and it was made on the base of nature. So it is something what is also could be so I recommend you to get to know this project, because it is something which is also good for Mykolaiv, how to go do with limited resources the upgrade of the public spaces. And the runner-up was project Leos. This was in category reconnecting with nature, and in category prioritizing the places and people that need it the most. It are the general categories which this project started. Was the Leos state, so project for houses for internal displaced person. but what is, I think, because there was special category for Ukraine, so some project for Ukraine has to get it. But what Ukrainians can be proud that apart of that, one project from Ukraine got a prize in general category, in the stream of Rising Stars. The winner was the project Community Rebuilding. It was by the organization CEDOS. I don't know if you cooperate with CEDOS. And now we have had the connection at our jury meeting with Ivan Verbitsky, who is now the Deputy Minister for Culture and Strategic information communication, and he was until last year from the 2019 till 2024 he was the director of CEDOS, and this organization has made a center for the local community centers, and to as the people who were included were under 30, they could get this prize also if it would be not implemented, but this project was the implemented one. And then in this year there was no special category for Ukraine, but also two projects from Ukraine who get the prize. The prompt prelat, the adaptation of the factory in Ivano-Frankivsk, won the Champions Stream in the category prioritizing the places and people that need it the most. It is very interesting because this is a business project, but it is the adaptation of our factory, and they include also some support for veterans, for internal displaced person, and combine it with business and creative industry. And other is runner-up in category Rising Stars, 3,13 ban upcycling advertising banners. So it is the project for changing advertising banners into the products. So here we see the woman on the call from advertising banner, and it was the runner-up, the Rising Star system stream, the category shaping up a circular industrial ecosystem and supporting life cycle city. And in this year, the special prize, like last year, was for Ukraine. This year was for affordable housing, but and what Ukraine doesn't get the prize, but you can see that it is not a shame for Ukraine, because this prize unfortunately was limited only for the project from the area of European Union. The other initiative of European Bauhaus is Festival of European Bauhaus. There were already 2 editions in 2022 and 2024, and now edition 2026 is in preparation. The application for participation has already been submitted, so to participation in Brussels. The initial idea was to have it in different place every time, but unfortunately it was limited to be every time in Brussels. But there can be also satellite events, and the deadline for submission of applications for being in Brussels is already gone. But until, as far as I remember, about December, you can submit the proposals for the satellite events. So you can arrange something in Mykolaiv, so you do not get financial support, but you can be under the label of the satellite event of the European Bauhaus. So you can apply, and if it goes in line, you can arrange such event. The other thing, there are official partners of European Bauhaus. So when I checked it in updating the presentation for you 1 week ago, there was 914 official partners, and among them 19 from Ukraine. So it is 2.1%, and it is for non-governmental organization and cultural institutions. So, for example, as far as I know, that your CREA center is non-governmental institution, so you can apply for being official partner. And the examples for Ukraine is, for example, the CEDOS, which I mentioned, is one of the partners. there is Ushhorod National University, so some universities or colleges or school or libraries for Mykolaiv can. Then there's Handicraft Chamber of Ukraine or Ukrainian Eco Station networks and so on. All together this organization. One of them is Meta Lab, which they are including some things on space. They also adapted the unused buildings for the places for living of internally displaced person, and now they adapt unused buildings for the micro apartments for the veterans. And there are also friends. So governmental organizations or the private firms. So if somebody of you is the owner of private firm, can become friend of European Bauhaus. The municipality of Mykolaiv can also become friend of European Bauhaus. Also region of Mykolaiv. And these friends, it is less amount. It is 321 friends, and from Ukraine only 4, so it is also in percentage less than in case of official partner is 1.2. And for example, this state agency for restoration and development of infrastructure of Ukraine, or Active House Academy, which is giving the consulting events and public presentations. And then I will say about project which I was included, that I as a member of the roundtable of European Bauhaus. There was also Japanese architect Shigeru Ban, and when the Russian war against Ukraine escalated in 2022, he proposed to implement his projects. And we prepared donated from Polish branch of Horace from the paper tube pipes, also the curtains, and created the partition for the people, refugees or internal displaced people who were accommodated in bigger space to provide them a bit of intimacy. Not everybody knows, but intimacy is one of basic human rights, and we also there are photos from Poland, but also photos from Ukraine, because we prepared elements in Poland and sent it to Ukraine, and our friends has implemented it in Lviv, Uman, and Czerwonogród, which is now Cheptycki. And there are also net labs. So there are some projects which are connecting together, and there are people of different interests. And for example, there was NEBLAB public infrastructure for Ukraine, and the project Euroherit, in which Mykolaiv take part with these officer buildings, took part in Euroherit project, which was born from this project public infrastructure for Ukraine initiated by Ruta Leitanaitė from the Lithuanian Union of Architects. There is also, for example, transforming places of learning, and there are two groups. One are initiated by the European Commission, and other are initiated by other people. The next stewardship lab is cooperation of the universities, and there is also Bauhaus of the Seaside. But maybe Nikolai could join this Bauhaus of the Seas, and then also the examples, because there are some calls and regarding the in comparison of the general European Union fund, there are not very big finances, but it is still something. And for example, this transformation of places of learning, it was even not financial support, it was the support of ongoing actions connecting people who deploy different actions in transformation of the schools, kindergartens, or physical places, or ways of learning, of relations with education with local community, just to get to know and interact. Then support to European Bauhaus local initiatives. So 20 projects received up to 75 hours of the expert support. So they were also projects from Ukraine. For us, they need extra support, and European Union funded this work of the expert to support them. Then there was co-creation of public spaces through citizen engagement. So there were 7 projects which get micro grants up to 45,000 euro and up to 100%, and also citizen activities. So 11 projects got up to 15,000 euro. There was also big projects, lighthouse demonstrators. There were 6 projects connected with the transformation of built environments. So, for example, there was the project of the neighborhood in Munich in Germany, or some joint project of different sea region, and it was for the activity between 22 and 25, and each project was supported with the sum of 5 million euro. And now it is the new things which I think that Mrs. Olesia will also say a bit about it. The European Bauhaus facility. So it is the financial instrument which connects of the 2 components, the research and innovation component, which is for the research, and also rollout component. And this the objective of this European Bauhaus facility is to offer strategic and pioneering opportunity to transform and revitalize European neighborhoods with design for sustainability and inclusion. So I think that in case of Mykolaiv, it is really good aspect, because you have this neighborhoods which partially were destroyed, and because of the economy of war, they need support and could be transformed. Because also it is so that when there's a limited resources, then people are more able to active to work in some support, like to work in Ukrainian, and then it leads to be more environmental friendly when somebody has a lot of money, so that you can look, and it is the reason, the way to enhance social acceptance of the green transition and democratic process at the local level, bringing communities on board, provide solution for the green transition in built environment, explore new business model that maintain the competitiveness of the construction sector while implementing European Bauhaus and social compatible solutions. And then, as I thought, there are these 2 components, and in the research and innovation component, it is to support research and innovation in the fields of connecting the green transformation, social inclusion, and local democracy, circular and regular narrative approaches for the built environment, and environmental funding, and new business model for the transformation of neighborhood. And this financing for all of that is 120 million euro each year for all the project in that field. And then is this rollout component, which is the European Union searches also for financing for other sources, which is maybe not good news for you, because you have a lot of needs and different sources, so you would like to have some. So there is the rollout, so implement deployment of this project, to have technical assistance to local public authorities, building renovation and proposals, scaling up solutions. So if there are some solutions, you can scale up. And what is very good in this European Bauhaus facility, because quite often it is so with the project that only innovation is supported. So you have to create something new. And if somebody does something good and it is no new, cannot get support. And in this facility, and I think that maybe I contributed it because I criticized it. Because, for example, in Netherlands, there's a situation that people has a project, apply for a grant, and do nothing until they get financing. But in countries which are more in need, like Ukraine, it is something that there is very urgent need. People start to do something, do it voluntarily, and then they cannot continue because they have used their own resources. And in this case of European Bauhaus facility, it is possibility to get finance for continuing or upscaling the project, or even it is the possibility of regranting. So somebody has done something valuable voluntarily, and now has spent money and want to develop it, so can get some cost for regranting the cost. So then is development competency, skill, capacity building for small and medium enterprises. And the idea is that it should be 120 million euro for funding from European Union, private and national funds. So I think that if you can hear that you have to have something from national funds, it is not good news because you have the many other urgent needs. So I think that this research and innovation component will be more answering to news. And at the end, I will just tell you which projects were in the first round, because it is every year to be called for the project. And unfortunately, this year fortunately there were several calls, as far as I remember 12, but I'm not sure I would remember the number, but they were unfortunately the deadlines were until either 23rd of September or 12th of November, which was yesterday. So you cannot apply now, but it can show you a range and see what kind of project. Probably every year there are different projects, but what can, and you could look and some, it is always as it is the possibility of regranting. You can also look by the call if some of your already ongoing project do not fit in that. So I will say, so there is one is a live project for addressing ad hoc legislative and policy PTC priorities. So changing European Solidarity Corps call for proposal. So this was not financing, but this Solidarity Corps proposed what they can do, and then innovative approaches for sustainable, inclusive, and beautiful social and affordable housing. So this is project to improve housing in the inclusive, sustainable and beautiful housing, fostering and maintaining the social fabric for the green transition neighborhoods. So to support local communities for the green transition in the neighborhood. So for example, I think that in the settlement of Namif in Mykolaiv, which was affected by the floods, then you can welcome network of neighborhoods for innovative policies on gentrification. So gentrification is the problem that rich people, so to say, kick out the poorer ones, and the politics how to avoid it, and create a network that's different neighborhoods who are how to say. There is a risk that there will be gentrification. They can cooperate together. However, I think that gentrification in Mykolaiv rather could be a risk when the more development. So gentrification, I think, could be the question the moment in Lviv or in Odessa. I think that maybe I'm not right, but in Mykolaiv, not yet. And applying regenerative design to the environment in neighborhoods. So also that the neighborhood, when you want to make better space, make regenerative design, so from the resources. So for example, building something from the ruin, beautiful, sustainable, and inclusive street furniture for the transformation of neighborhood. So this is, I think, which I have seen in Mykolaiv, that you have some street furniture for spending time, so you can look how to make it more sustainable, more inclusive, and these are the projects which are easy. So I think that it is you do already, so you can think how scaling up. Then renovating the built environment through design for adaptability and disassembly. So also think that some elements of the neighborhoods could be done in such a way that you can adapt it for other uses and disassemble and make as a result. Biofabricated materials for sustainable and beautiful construction. I don't know if it is in Mykolaiv too, but I know examples from Ukraine of biofabricated materials. For example, this metal up, the impact of common space on neighborhood communities, so to make the common space to better work neighborhoods. Then sufficiency measures in the built environment. So check what because it is always the proposal and proportionate. For example, when you avoid less carbon footprint, but not to look which solutions are proper and sufficient. Then bottom-up social entrepreneurship for co-creation of neighborhood in line with the European Bauhaus. So social entrepreneurship is important in the areas of unemployment. So this could be also very good for Mykolaiv. However, unfortunately, deadline was yesterday. Reverse local construction supply system chains for the beautiful reassembly of reclaimed construction products. So to have this would be also something for you that you have something from ruin, how to use it as the resources, and there is also a trial horse that because the finances for the European Bauhaus in the scale of European Union are not very high. But the trial horse is that European Union funded programs in financial perspective 2021-2027 must include the criteria of the compliance with the ideas of European Bauhaus. However, it is just last night. However, it is not more question for the participant because the institution who distribute funds in the project, they have to fill in the criteria. So when you apply for the program, you read the criteria and you may even do not know some of them. So maybe if you know good European Bauhaus companies, you maybe can recognize which follows, but it is not for you to look, but for somebody who prepares the details. So thank you very much for attendance. And I understand that I was longer than I should because Mr. Arden. So sorry also for prolonging. Thank you.
And as you like, so you're welcome either there or here.
Or maybe I will stay because maybe there will be, in case of some question, need to come back some slides.
Okay. Let's give the chance to.
Okay, I have forgotten that the questions are at the end.
Yes.
So I go there and then
Thank you for really deep dive in new European Bauhaus approach, and also for the the practical. Also for the practical aspects, which is always very interesting, and this is the part of motivation of some colleagues who are participating now here. So, as it was mentioned, there are a whole list of financial opportunities for the project related to the new European Bauhaus approach, and some of them are already open for Ukraine. And in order for Ukrainian institutions, organizations, companies to use these opportunities which are opening for Ukraine during their European integration. So we have on board Olesya Sklerenko, and she's the representative of the national contact point for the new European Bauhaus. And Olesya, as we already got from Hubert the general view, the main, let's say, the main values, priorities. So please, can you focus on what's available for the Ukrainian institutions, how they should act if they decide to implement, develop the project, the ideas in the framework of the new European Bauhaus?
Dear
The
colleague,
floor is
thank you. Yes, dear colleague, thank you very much. I'm very glad to be here today with you. So I've actually had to think about my presentation, and thank you to Mr. Trama, because he really had a very, it's a brief, deep dive into the new European Bauhaus actually facility. But you said, what about European possibilities in terms of Horizon Europe? Unfortunately, today, I can't show you any because yesterday they were successfully closed. But let me show my presentation, who am I and how I can actually cooperate with you, because new European facility will be able to start actually in, I suppose, in May. So let's start with the presentation, who I am and how I can assist you. I hope that you can see my presentation.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So let's start from the very beginning. So my name is Olesya Sklerenko, and I represent the national contact point for new European Bauhaus in the direction of research and innovation Horizon Europe. So I was nominated on September the 12th, 2024 by the Ministry of Education and Science of Ukraine. So I work and I operate on the basis of Grigory Skovoroda University in Pereyasl. There are additional 21 national contact points who work in other direction of Horizon Europe, and they are spread all over Ukraine. So what makes us special? I am pretty close to Kiev, but I'm not exactly directly in Kiev. I am actually located in Kiev region. So my main task is to connect Ukrainian stakeholders with European research and innovation institution, companies, project offices, because I provide guidance, information, and support for Horizon Europe participation. So Mr. Trumper has already mentioned that NEP since March 2025 has actually developed NEP facility. NEP facility includes two components, so research and innovation and rollout. I do represent only research and innovation component, actually based on Horizon Europe grants. These are my core responsibilities because I do disseminate calls, rules, and participation procedures, which I successfully closed with a lot of Ukrainian participants yesterday. We had more than 10 applicants from Ukraine. I really put my fingers crossed for them. I can't right now tell anything, but I really hope that, because this is that would be significant, because this is the first time that Ukraine is operating on this scale with other European companies for Horizon Europe prizes and calls. I actually help prepare informational materials, fact sheets, and bulletins. I help in consulting and advising applicants on proposal developments. I also help organizing trainings and info session, which is my core responsibility, actually. I also support in collaboration with other NCPs and exchanging best practices, because I do cooperate with the so-called NCP policies, which act in Europe, but which are not present in New European Bauhaus in Ukraine. So I've already did 6 and performed 6 informational events conducted since September 2024. And if there is any necessity, I can do this for you as well, for Mykolaiv, because I haven't been to Mykolaiv yet. So soon that facility will be new because working program 2026 is ongoing. We are just discussing it, and if it would be possible, I'd like to I'd like to get you to know with this working program, so just to know the main ideas, main steps, how to do, and where you find your area to apply for your calls. So I also had 2 in-person events with Horizon Europe office, which is represented in Kiev, and European Union delegation. I'm very happy to have them on board with us in Pereyaslav on April the 16th, 2025. We also collaborate and do organize collaborative events with other NCPs. For example, in Kharkiv, it was February 2025, Ivano-Frankivsk, April 2026, and Chernivtsi, June 2025. So impact is, we expect to be higher because national contact point is rather new. We have green fingers in this, so we've engaged. It is stated here 200 plus participants across Ukraine, but in the last 2 weeks I can double this figure, because we reached academic, municipal, and business communities when we were applying for these Horizon Europe calls. We increased awareness and are trying to increase awareness on new European Bauhaus opportunities within Horizon Europe. And as well, we try to foster regional collaboration and visibility. So for sure that this work is very effective only if we collaborate with close network with Horizon Office Europe in Ukraine, which is presented as Kiev. Strong institutional support from universities, for example, from Grigory Skovoroda University, I represent as well. Communities to decentralizing access to European Union opportunities, and active communication with other European and Ukrainian NCPs. So I do face some challenges as well, because not everyone like you knows about new European Bauhaus. So I have to raise, and I should raise awareness and its underrepresentedness in different regions of Ukraine. We try to open resources for regional outreach to help everybody who needs to find their specific role in New European Bauhaus, and to strengthen partnership with local authorities and NGOs. Being a Ukrainian national contact point and cooperating with other national contact points from European Union, there are 27 in New European Bauhaus, actually on the whole Europe. So I have their contact, they have my contacts, and they quite often ask me about Ukrainian participants who can actually play in their calls as well. So what are plans for 2026 and beyond? Because I just mentioned that calls were closed yesterday. As a national contact point, I try to expand regional info sessions in Central and Eastern Ukraine, to develop training materials tailored to Ukrainian applicants, to deepen cooperation with the European NCP network, and support the information for Ukrainian consortia in app-related calls. You've just found out from the presentation from Mr. Trammer that new European Bauhaus is represented in a lot of programs actually funded by European Commission. It is not only about Horizon Europe, actually. It is Creative Europe, This is Life, right now Look projects and other. But my main idea and my responsibility is exactly Horizon Europe calls. They are, I would say, the highest in financial support, because applicants try to fight in each grant for more than 3.24 million euros. You've just found out that rollout component, research and innovation component is going to be financed by the European Commission in the amount of 120 million euros annually. So, new European Commission is working on the new working package for new European Bauhaus Research and Innovation program. This year we had 11 calls. They were all closed on November the 12th, but they were all actually divided into 3 directions. Destination 1, it was actually regeneration, business, and innovative and action activities. In order to get you to know with all of those opportunities and possibilities for Ukrainian actors, I need to have working plan. So to show you precisely where you have to work on which detail. So for this, we can organize another session, which would be, maybe for me, I would need more than a quarter of an hour in order to get you to know with, I would say, precise rules, because it's not easy to play there, but there are general rules, how to organize consortia, how to read precisely the calls, how to participate in general in those calls. So, but I'd like you to know that I'm here. I'm presented in Ukraine. I speak Ukrainian, I speak English, I speak German. So, and in any way, I'm always welcome to hear from you and about your ideas. I have spread that work with my European colleagues and national contact points, which would help you to find partners to the call you would like to participate in. So in case that this, for now, because I really don't know what to show you, because like I said, the working program is ongoing, and November the 12th, we are going to get together with the head of the new European Bauhaus unit in European Commission, and we're going to discuss problems European applicants had while implementing NAP facility in those calls. So after those peculiar steps from European Commission and with their draft for the new working program, I can come back to you with more information about 2026, 2027. You're muted.
So the information that the deadlines of the calls are already expired, it's okay for us, because we are here not to make the steps in the quick manner, but to be ready professionally, infrastructurally, to participate in project design, development, and implementation. So it's great to have you on board.
Yeah.
You already, please know that you are already invited to visit Mykolaiv. So our team is ready, and we know that the city of Mykolaiv is eager to be there, the pilot field for any new ideas and implementations. Just few weeks ago in Brussels, during the European Week of Regions and Cities, I was part of the discussion for NAP chapters. So we are looking to develop the NAP chapter based in Mykolaiv to form the ecosystem which will be able then to work in the framework of a project devoted to the NAP. So this discussion today is, first of all, to give, and it's basically we need part of your work to explain what is the European new Bauhaus, what is the principles, the values, how it works, and also to find the options for the local ecosystem to start moving towards their NAP values. So it's just a brief how we're planning the future steps here in Mykolaiv, understanding the principles, and also being confident then for the Mykolaiv recovery and development, the application of NEP principles in their urban design, in local architects, basically in all aspects, could be, let's say, the reason for competitiveness of our community, in the whole, let's say, range of competition of the regions for the people, resources, or for the better future for the people here. So this is how we feel our role, and this is what we plan to do together.
Yeah, that's very good because you have me on board. Like I've already said, maybe for a lot of Ukrainian members, it is very good because I'm Ukrainian speaking one. And in case they have problems and questions in Ukrainian, I can always answer them. So.
Yeah, we will share your contact with all the colleagues who are already here and who are participating with us online. And so please also consider our team as the potential partner for their horizon in implementation.
That's what I was going to ask you actually, because now I'm asked about members who would be potential players in 2026 working program. So
just for you to know that our team is working in development fields since 1998. Currently, we are managing 8 Interreg Nexus projects. In 2 projects, we are consortium leaders. So we are currently also involved in 2 Horizon applications. Cross fingers, it will work. So we have the right connection today with you. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. So I'm not going to be present here for pretty long because at 7 my electricity would be according to the schedule cut off. This is the reality of Ukraine. Unfortunately, yes. So I'm here till 19 o'clock when the as long as I have electricity. So
you're welcome to stay with us as long as it will be possible. And so now from let's say the general vision of new European Bauhaus approach with the practical opportunities for the Ukrainian entities to participate, to design, to develop, to implement the projects in the framework of new European Bauhaus. We would like to switch to more, let's say, focused discussion as we have on board our colleagues from professional architectural community. We have together with us Peter Balzer Nielsen, the Danish architect, the former city architect of the city of Aalborg, and the people of Mykolaiv know Aalborg very well. And also we have Nikolai Stein, also the architect from Aalborg. And I think the idea is to ask maybe some your insights, ideas, your view from outside. What are the approaches? What may be some suggestions, some best practices the city of Mykolaiv would apply in its strategic planning in designing the future rebuilding of Mykolaiv. But before, I would like to mention that some principles of New European Bauhaus are already in place in our community, particularly the participatory approach, which is part of philosophy of the city of Mykolaiv, and the representatives of the Mykolaiv civil society being part of the city strategy development, the city master plan development, developing their portfolio of the recovery projects. So we do have the strong citizens' involvement in such strategic document development. And thanks to our chief architect, who is also behind this philosophy, attracting, inviting the people, the civil society, their advisory bodies to participate in this strategic planning. But what else should we do? Can we do? What you else can, let's say, advise to our community? Gentlemen, who would like to go first?
Okay. Thank you, and thank you for the introduction that you didn't mention that I should be an expert. I am not. But you mentioned I'm an architect, and that's right. And as such, I maybe could say few words, because time is running, about how we see this NEP. And at once I will say that we are very keen of NEP. I have a connection with the Association of Architects in Denmark, and our chairman, he, at the very beginning of NEP, by himself, made an award to Ulla von der Leyen to say this is very good initiative. I would maybe just mention another way into this discussion. In many years, for many years, we have been discussing sustainability. And in Denmark, we have always, and also other countries, we have always been aware that sustainability has not only to be about environmental sustainability, it has to be together with the economic sustainability and together with the social, because that is the holistic way of looking at especially the development of the cities. So that is one thing I want to say. The second thing is that at the moment we have election for the municipality in Denmark. I think both Nicola and I, we are happy not to be in Denmark, because many politicals, they say a lot of beautiful words are to be elected here in the 18th of November. But one of the discussion in all the election around the 98 municipality is that we have to be more sustainable. And it's also a discussion about architecture and about preserving buildings. So in fact, there's a lot of discussion. Of course, we go from, in Ukraine too, we go from high-rise buildings and some bad architecture. And even then, there's a discussion, you don't have to tear down these buildings. You have to conserve them, you have to use them to transform them. As an architect, that gives a big problem, because do we really have to beware to let now I just say an ugly building stay instead of taking it down and rebuild it in a new beautiful architecture. So that is a discussion, and we have, and it's also a part of the discussion of this election for the municipality. So this discussion of aesthetic, there I think NEP is coming as good help to take this discussion on board. So then to go in what Hubert has told about the different levels of NEP, I just want to say shortly that to promote sustainable beauty is one of the things that was very keen to work with this NEP. To have a holistic approach is very necessary. And here I want to say this is not, I think Hubert said it true, this is not only for architects. You have, if you want to have a holistic approach, then you really have to work together with different subject groups to enhance this holistic way. And then you could also say, to end my short words here, the platform for architects. We see this NEP as a platform where architects, together with other subject groups, could play a central role in solving today's major social challenge, such as climate change and social inequality through design and architecture. So my point of view is, yes, it's problems for every groups, your NGO, your organization here, and for the citizens. But in fact, you can, through this, I think it's very important that you try to use these items to make a better and more beautiful city, for beautiful houses. Maybe even you have to make effort to transform some ugly buildings and live with them in some way. So that is, in fact, a discussion in Denmark that you, as I said before, we take too many buildings down. That's also a sustainable problem, because taking them down, taking the materials away, that is also not pollution, but it's a problem for the CO2 and so on. So this and that is very welcome, and even I'm sitting here and talking about this, I don't think it's that. It's like here in Ukraine, we know a little about it, but we have to be more interested in it and work with it, especially by architects and architecture.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you for your comments. And what I agree with you definitely, because our team is now together with the city. We are designing the local adaptation plan for the climate change, and we visibly see the key role of the architects in reacting, implementing, and so for us also NEP is the opportunity to have the discussion, also to, let's say, teach the community, because this is also part of the European integration. The European integration, not only the notes, these documents signed by politicians. This is the same value, and we have to share. And also, this is the same discussions we could have within on the B2B level, on professional level, being part of different research. So this is how the European integration works, how we live in. So that's why we feel that NEP approach is really valuable for Mykolaiv, and now is the right time to start shaping the NEP ecosystem in the city.
Yes, and also I think when you talk about strategies, this holistic strategy, I've been talking with you about this holistic strategy for the vision of Mykolaiv, where to go, how to live, involve the citizen in the discussion of this vision, and also about that.
Very good. Thank you. Can I give the floor to you? Yes.
Sure, thank you very much. So, thank you for the invitation of being here. I find it extremely inspiring. And I would like to actually make a very concrete proposal, because I think at the heart of what the new European Bauhaus sets out to do is urban design, because urban design truly addresses all the aspects put forward in the new European Bauhaus. And I would like to offer inspiration from a new, let's say, urban design instrument, which we have developed in Denmark. In urban planning, we typically have the traditional instruments of general plan, devising the land use of different parts of the city. And of course, we also have building code in terms of regulating how to design individual buildings. But we have great success in introducing a third tool, which we call architecture policies, think about them as a set of guidelines to developers. Very often, it's an unfortunate process when a developer has his or her own ideas about how to make a new design, and then the planning office or the planning authorities want to say, well, we have some different ideas, and then there's a confrontation. Rather, the power of an architecture policy is to, even before there is a development project, to set forth a set of guidelines to say, well, depending on what part of the city we are considering, we may have sets of guidelines determining the volume, the mass of buildings. Can we put high rise or low rise or medium rise in this area or not? What type of land use should this be? Will offices or mixed use or primarily housing? But also to devise, and I know this is something which is also very much at the heart of the Chief Architect's Office, to have some aesthetic guidelines as to how to design the facades, not only to be pleasing to look at, but also to address the increasingly important issue of climate adaptive design. We all know there was a heat wave here last summer. Temperatures soared into 42 degrees, and the emergency room had a busy time with people suffering from the heat. Luckily, you have plenty of trees providing shade in the urban space, but I think it's equally important to consider human comfort also by the design of buildings. And this truly should be incorporated into any such architecture policy set of guidelines, so that to make developers aware, whether for individual private projects, corporate projects for housing or business or any type of development, to say these are important matters, and even though you may not think about this in your individual projects, truly the city is the sum of all the individual projects. So we need to coordinate whenever there is a development to gradually improve the quality of not just urban space, but also building space within this. And I think this could be an incredibly interesting project in the framework of the new European Bauhaus, to put together a group of the Chief City Architect's Office, of course, other relevant parties in the city, along with the relevant experts, to say, how could we, in a collaborative format, develop such a set of guidelines like the architecture policies that we have done? So that would be my recommendation to you, and I would also gladly join the discussion and even the group of forming such a project. So those.
Thank you. It already sounds like the even Horizon project idea to have the colleagues from other European cities and regions sharing their experience. Also, let's say, co-designing the potential, let's say, set of local policies. And you do have in mind, let's say, formal document designed together by the architects, the stakeholders, the community, but finally adopted as the local law to be physically implemented and, to regulate the design, the construction, and the use of their, buildings, the infrastructure, etc. So we already got the ideas. We still need to put together their project team, look to start to looking for the consortium members. Yeah, very practical. Thank you for that. Sure. Dear colleagues, we already gave the word to our colleagues who today visited Mykolaiv, but we also have today with us the key person in implementation this. We have our Mykolaiv city chief architect. You can please welcome.
Я буду дуже лаконічним.
I will be short.
Ми забули представити, що Подобальцев – це екс-головний архітектор міста Львова.
Мене
Це все, 12
Мене забули.
Я
сказав.
сказав. Окей. Що таке європейський Баугауз у розумінні цього слова як мультидисциплінарний бачення?
What is the European Bauhaus, like the multi-disciplinary
Це поєднання мистецтва, технологій та соціальної відповідальності.
It is a combination of
Мистецтво.
art, technologies, and social responsibility.
Нам треба знайти гармонію між відбудовою,
We need
екологією,
to find a harmony for rebuilding,
екологією і людиноцентричністю.
Ecology and the human central.
Human-centric.
Не це символ гуманності.
NEP is a symbol of humanity.
Про що треба думати архітекторам і іншим експертам?
What do architects need to think about?
Це те, що 60% всіх викидів – це діяльність пов'язана з будівництвом будівель.
Is that 60% of pollution is from the building process.
Ця думка заставляє думати нас по-іншому.
And this
So it all this idea.
Але ми у Миколаєві в Україні зараз займаємося не копіюванням ідей Баугауса, а фактично це є духом нашої роботи.
But now in Mykolaiv, we try not to copy the idea of Bauhaus. We try to
have it as a spirit of our work.
І до чого ми прийшли путем еволюції нашого бачення?
We get it because of the evolution of our vision.
Це свідчить, що Україна дійсно прямує Європу не на словах, а по своєму духу.
It said that Ukraine is going to the Europe not just by the words, but with our like minds.
Всі проекти, якими ми займаємося в муніципалітеті, в міській раді,
All the projects that we are doing in our municipality, Mykolaiv City Council,
вони відповідають духу європейського Баугауса.
they are similar to the mind of the European Bauhaus.
І саме приємне, що ми навіть про це не думаємо.
And the most good thing is that we are not even thinking about it.
Як приклад, зараз ми працюємо з програмою над архітектурним конкурсом.
We can give you an example. We are now working with the architectural competition with our colleagues.
І ми думаємо, як відкрити пам'ятку культурної спадщини для містян.
And we are thinking of how to open our cultural heritage to our people from Mykolaїв.
В першу чергу ми робимо не самостійно лише архітектори, а й культурні
Firstly,
діячі.
we are doing it not only like architects and also like the artists, like the culture people.
Інші експерти.
Other experts
І робимо це прозоро.
and doing it
Поетапно
step by step
і публічно.
and open.
Це складніше,
It is more hard,
але при цьому результат буде краще.
but the result will be better.
Те саме стосується розробки і бачення нового генерального плану міста Миколаєва.
The same with the our general plan of our city,
А також соціологічні і культурні лекції, які робимо.
and also with our ecological projects that we are doing now.
Тобто це журналістика на повну залученість всіх бажаючих.
So now it's not only the exhibition, but we are trying to get all people that want to join us.
Приклад створення нового скверу у мікрорайоні Тернівка в Миколаєві.
Like the new park in one of the areas in Mykolaїв і Тернівка.
Де більше ніж 200 людей робили це разом з нами, створювали щось нове.
More than 200 people were doing it with us. They were doing something new in this area.
За принципом New European Bauhaus.
By the principles of the European Bauhaus.
Хоча вони про це не знають.
But they don't even know that they are doing such a thing.
Це наші друзі з Франції, які приїхали і працювали з миколаївськими дітьми.
It's French.
Ну, так,
That's our guest from France that came to us and was working with our students from our center.
це було поєднання залучення мистецтва, залучення людей.
That was the combination of culture, of involvement.
А також нових підходів, яких до цього нам не використовують.
And also new methods that we didn't use before.
І таких проєктів під час війни можна розмовляти багато годин.
And we can talk a lot about such projects because we have a lot of them now.
Мабуть, важливо для тих, кому це стало цікавим.
And it is important for, I think the people are interested in it, the people who are interested.
Те, що ви бачите на нашій публічній сторінці Департаменту архітектури,
So all that you see in our social media of the Department of Architecture and Urban Planning.
те, в чому ви можете реально взяти участь.
So you can join us.
Якщо ви будете працювати з нами,
If you will work with us,
то ви будете мати певний результат своєї роботи.
you will have such result of your work.
Зараз ми дороблюємо, відкриваємо на базі будівельного коледжу таблет.
Now we are finishing to do the Fab Lab in our architecture college.
Це коли муніципалітет, студенти,
That's when the municipality, students,
міжнародні партнери
and our foreign partners
швидко, якісно і прозоро
fast the good quality with the good quality and transparently
відкривають місце, де ми будемо навчати дітей спеціалізованій робототехніці.
Opening the place where we will teach our students robototechnical,
сфері водопостачання, теплопостачання,
in the sphere of water supply, heating system,
road building, з Лего.
with the Lego constructor.
Але це буде вже професійно.
But it will be professional.
А також моделювати і друкувати елементи дизайну.
And also modeling and printing parts of the design
Механізмів,
of mechanism
будівель,
of buildings
на базі створеної цієї локації.
based on this new location.
Це буде безкоштовно для міста.
It will be for free for our.
Записувати туди дітей.
They can go there with their children,
Студентів.
Students.
І відповідно ми таким чином будемо підвищувати наші можливості нашої громади.
So in such a way, we will improve our possibilities of our people from our city.
І нам там дуже не вистачало додаткових рук.
And we really didn't have enough hands
Тому якщо ви
to help
думаєте,
us.
що ви нікому не потрібні, то це не так.
So if you think that we don't need you, that's not true.
Коли ми десь незаручні, саме нас може не вистачати.
Where we are not in such a place, maybe we need you, really need you.
Thank you, Evgen. Colleagues, just a few words. We preserve sometimes for questions and answers, and as a tradition of the CREA talks, at the end we are going to give the few minutes, or the seconds, it depends, to each of the speakers to the final words. Before, I would like to once again to say thank you to the European Union delegation to Ukraine, which are supporting this event. And as Team Europe is a part of the communication activities of their delegation of the European Union, so we are bringing the European agenda to the community level. So what I just put down from the remarks, what Evgeny was mentioning. So we can see that some elements of their, let's say, net ecosystem already exist in Mykolaiv. The lab he mentioned, the approaches we as a community are using in designing the strategic documents, the new competitions which are opening, and as Evgeny also mentioned, we are doing it without knowing that it's all net. This is just the best mark of that we, the Ukrainians, we have the same vision, the same values, the same feelings as our European friends. So we are thinking on the same way. So what we need now to put all this together to basically launch the ecosystem as their constantly working mechanism, say like that. To put it together, the good idea, and it's part of the presentation from Hubert, the net centers could be there, and also, as I mentioned, the net chapters could be such type of, let's say, contact points, bringing together, different stakeholders of this approach. We have here in the audience, the different people. We have the people from the industry, we have the young architects, we have the civil society activists, we have here the media. So now you can ask the questions or maybe make some comments to enrich these talks, the discussion. Please, you're welcome. If you would like. Шановні колеги, я ще раз сказав, що зараз ми маємо трішки часу на питання і відповіді. То, колеги, зможуть мати декілька хвилин для підбиття підсумків від кожного з свого боку. Отже, колеги, які присутні тут, якщо у вас є питання, коментарі, враховуючи, що це відкрита розмова. Можливо, те, про що ми сьогодні тут іноді складними аргументами обговорювали, іноді складною мовою, але ж що зачепило, можливо, десь ви побачили себе, власні інтереси, відкликнутися на запит головного архітектора, долучатися. Можливо, є щось, що ви хотіли також привнести в цю розмову сьогодні. Будь ласка, вільний мікрофон.
So I will start not from the question, but for this comment, and from the thank for those speakers who participated today here in this event. I want to be very honest that absolutely for me and also for all the project managers who are here today, not just the architects, not just social actors, but also the project managers for also, thank you, Johan, are a very important part of this building process for Mykolaiv and also for development of our city. Honestly, for me, this year it was a year that I get acquainted, and I absolutely, honestly, knew about this new European Bauhaus concept, and it's 2025 already. So indeed, it's some kind of fresh inspiration. From all these things we have known today with you, and thank you very much, Hubert, for this really deep dive to new European Bauhaus concept, and also for these examples of project who has already been implemented, who has already been developed and presented from the Ukrainian community. So it's not just about the architect project, but also about projects for something reusing materials and new places, new approaches in developing these community places. So it's really very interesting, and we understand that we have a lot of home task for us in order to do really much about this new European Bauhaus concept. Indeed, we do some things. And we didn't know that it's a new European Bauhaus approaches, and values we follow already. But it's really very interesting to get acquainted with the European projects, for instance, who got these prizes this year, last year, starting 2021, I guess. Yeah. So indeed, in order to not to copy but to follow, to implement these best practices, this new vision, new approaches. So indeed it was very valuable for me, not just to use this new concept, but to know how it works, about these values, about this project, about these ideas we can use in our work here in Mykolaiv. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Colleagues, somebody wants to continue? Okay, then we could switch to the closing remarks, and I will ask our guests just a few words. The one word I got from Olga is inspiration. I put it down.
So I'm very happy that I can visit Mykolaiv for the second time, and that the cooperation developed. So I visited in May, and we make together the workshop. I see at least one student who take part in these workshops, and then at the Brief Urban Forum I met Artem, and we discussed it. I cooperate with Mykolaiv, so Artem said that when you are in Mykolaiv, please contact me, and we arrange something, and so it happened. So it gives me a hope that it will further develop, because this is a very inspiring place, and very nice people. So I hope to have the possibility to further continue contacts and maybe some operations.
Thank you. So once again, inspiration, hope, and together. I put it down.
Yes, I think one of the thing I always say is the priority is dialogue. This dialogue is very, very important. And I think with your organization here and these very different people, you are ongoing. You are already long in this priority of I think that is one of the inspiration. I came from for some years ago. I met Jevan and we was from Denmark talking about this dialogue, this involving the citizen, this involving many groups. But I think you are already long in this way to work, and this try to make this balance that you have all this good inspiration, these thoughts and so on, and Jevan and his people on the office in the city council, they can take it up and try to make some of these strategy that we have been talking about. So congratulations with that. I think yeah, and you didn't know that you were so long. Yeah, I could. We didn't know that we are already following the NEP. No, you didn't, values, and you didn't know that you were so much experts already in the dialogue. But you are. Thank you. Thank you. So the word is dialogue, right?
Well, yes, as I mentioned in my short contribution, I think dialogue is something that needs to happen on several levels and all along the process. Of course, a dialogue is necessary at the initial point, trying to at all define what a project should be about. Because thinking that we as experts know everything and we simply just have to tell other people about it is fundamentally wrong. So in that sense, I think dialogue, even in the phase of formulating the problem and the project, is important, but also in the course of a project to always bear in mind that even because what happens very easily once you form a project with different people, you start and then inadvertently to practice what is called group thinking. You form a sort of subsystem of joint ideas, and that may be very productive, no doubt, but it also has the danger that you will float away from the general idea of what is at hand, what is the topic of discussion. So also remembering in the course of developing projects to also have a dialogue in communicating with relevant stakeholders, as you said before. And also, of course, as I was trying to indicate, that the very idea, for instance, of a project which could be about defining and implementing an architecture policy, is that the very policy itself is a tool for dialogue. Because if you can sort of steer the thinking of many different people's minds onto something which has been collaboratively constructed already, then I think a lot of unnecessary bumps along the way can be left out, and that would be the true beauty of such a process and such a result.
Thank you. I put down once again dialogue, process leading to the project.
Mm.
So we have inspiration, hope, dialogue together. It's all in process and it's leads to the project. And I will add the project for recovery for the nice, lovely city of. Colleagues,
Yes.
we fulfill our agenda. I would like once again to thanks to the delegation of European Union to Ukraine for supporting our communication. I would like to thank our guests once again for being brave to come to Mykolaiv. Believe me, not everyone is brave enough to come to the country in war, to the, you know, the city which is just next to the front line, and also bring their expertise, invest their time in the recovery of such a city. So thank you again. And also thank you, guests, for joining us in this CREA Talks today, together with Team Europe Mykolaiv and Evgen Krenskis.
Я скажу кілька слів від імені студентів,
I will say some words from our students.
тому що я сам маю 4 дипломи і вважаю себе постійним студентом.
Because also I have 4 diplomas, so I'm feeling like I'm always a student.
І я хочу звернутися до наших колег, які з Польщі і Данії.
So I want to talk to the colleagues from Denmark and from Poland.
І сказати, що візьміть своїх друзей скульпторів, художників,
And said like grab your friends, architects and sculptors.
painting, представників сучасного мистецтва.
And the
Representative of the modern art.
І приїжджайте в Миколаївський будівельний коледж.
and come to our architectural college.
Ви знайдете, що там зробити.
We will find you will find a lot of work to do there.
Ви дасте того, чого зараз не мають студенти.
You will give them a lot of things that they don't have now.
Збільшити бажання до навчання.
And improve their the will to study. For them to want to study.
Their willingness to study.
І зробити навчання більш цікавим.
And you will improve their study.
Make the educational process more interesting.
Це дуже просто,
It is not so hard,
не дуже дорого,
not so expensive.
але таких студентів після такого навчання ми будемо брати на роботу.
But such as students, after such a studying, we will take to work in our Mykolaiv castle.
Це буде ваш вклад у відбудову міста.
And it will be your help to our city.
Навіть якщо ваші друзі не мають бюджету.
Even if your friends haven't got the budgets.
Thank you, Evgen, for adding extra tips on the proposal. So the nice young people motivated to be part of this environment. So let's
Я хочу додати, я представниця більш поважного покоління, я практикуюча архітекторка, засновниця архітектурної фірми. Молодь, яка навчається в коледжі, і Даша, і друга Даша, вони були на практиці, вони працюють зараз. Я хочу додати до молоді, яка займає зараз поважне місце в архітектурній діяльності нашого міста. В місті є багато практикуючих архітекторів, але молодь стає на першому, вона попереджує нас на декілька кроків. Ми їх підтримуємо завжди. Я можу додати, що моя фірма і розробляють теж декілька дуже поважних проєктів, які фінансуються іностранними інвесторами. Наша
Беремо на перекладання.
Мабуть.
Who is going to interpret?
Ти можеш щось перекласти?
This is Людмила. She has her own architectural company. So she's a practical architect. And she wants to say that our students from our architectural college, personally me, Dasha, and that one girl, also Dasha, we are now doing a good job in architecture for our city. So she said that now we have a lot of practical architectures all over the city, but the young architects are really better. Like they are doing more
Даша, я хочу додати, що ну, ти ще що перевела. Ми спочатку війни, моя фірма, як і багато архітекторів країни, не мали змоги працювати.
From the beginning of the full-scale invasion, her company and also like a lot of companies all over our country, architectural companies, hadn't got the possibility to work.
Ми до останнього трималися в цьому місті, але я та декілька моїх колег поїхали з міста, хто до Львова, хто до Києва.
She were in the city during all the war, but some of the colleagues go from the city, went from the city to other cities of Ukraine.
При першій можливості наприкінці 22-го року ми почали повертатись, тому що Миколаїв, ще будучи під обстрілами, почав відроджувати.
So at the end of the 2022, we started to begin our work, even during the city bombing. Our city started to begin the work.
Ми розробили багато проєктів відновлення дахів, окремих будинків.
We developed a lot of projects about the renovation, reconstructions of the buildings that were bombed.
Розробляли проєкти реконструкції та нового будівництва протирадіаційних укриттів.
Developing projects for the reconstructions and for the new building of the shelters.
Хочу звернути увагу, оцей простір, в якому ми зараз знаходимось, він, мабуть, теж побудований протягом цієї війни. Якщо в місті з'являються отакі міста, це дуже поважно для подальшого розвитку нашого міста. Ми можемо працювати і можемо робити можливе для подальшого будівництва і реставрації нашого міста.
She said that she thinks that this place also was built during the war. She thinks that it's a really good possibility for the architectural company to have the ability to work. And really good places. We have a lot of new spaces like this in our city.
Ця будівля розміщена в історичному центрі нашого міста, і це дуже важливо зберегти не тільки екологічний простір, а й історичні будівлі.
This building is placed in our historical center, so it is not only ecological and also like the historical part.
Моя фірма займається зараз розробкою проєкту та будівництвом однієї із найбільш зруйнованої будівлі учбового закладу ліцею Аркаса.
So now her company is developing a project for the most bombed place in our city, the historical place. It is the first Ukrainian gymnasium.
Ми спроможні проєктувати по українським нормам, але ми теж спроможні прислуховуватись до тих зауважень, які нам надають іностранні інвестори і іностранні проектувальники та колеги.
So we can develop projects with our Ukrainian knowledge, but we also listen the help from our European in part because that knowledge from Europe is also so important to involve in our country.
Так, дякую організаторам цієї зустрічі за можливість приєднатися до міжнародних ініціатив.
Thank you for the organizers for us to have a possibility to join such events.
Гарно було поспілкуватись. Дякую за переклад. Ще, мабуть, побачимося.
I was really happy to talk to you and would like to see you again.
Thank you, Ludmila, for your feedback. What we see that already the real business, the real architectural business, they are ready to apply the new European Bauhaus principles in their designs. So it's another part of the puzzle of the future network system for the city of Mykolaiv. Thank you very much for this extra adding to our agenda. Once again, colleagues, we really fit in time, and you even heard 3 signals saying that we successfully completed the task of today. Thank you for the colleagues who worked together with us online. And once again, we have to acknowledge their delegation of the European Union in Ukraine for supporting this event. And thank you everybody for participation. Good luck. And please join the refreshments.
Это было здорово.